Go that way.
Yeah.
We live? What is
We are,
that? I
we are,
can't hear.
we are. I tell you, we are.
I don't know what that means. You give me a thumbs up. I'm listening. I'm trying to look at the phone and connect and listen to you, and you ain't saying nothing. All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday evening. If you are tuned in, you are now tuned into Just Josie. That is me.
And Tawanda with a T.
And we are melanated in
Melanated in
business.
business.
So welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to welcome you today. Our melanated in business spotlight is China Wright of Meals by China. She is a queen of catering extraordinaire, based in the Atlanta area, the Atlanta metro area. So we're going to have her on today, and we're just going to talk about her and her business, her journey, her brand, and just kind of uplift and encourage all things Black and brown on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday. If you have any questions, anything you want to ask China throughout the broadcast, then please feel free to go on to the Melanated in Business page underneath her, this broadcast, this live airing, and type in your question. We will be more than happy to get those questions out to her and ask her periodically. Just be patient because we are talking. So every now and then we will kind of look down and, hey, so there we go. So at this moment, we're just kind of waiting for China to join in, to join us. If you have any questions for us, for Just Josie, if you have any questions for me, or you have any questions for Tawanda with the T, go ahead and put those down in the meanwhile. So we look forward to you guys tuning in. We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for joining us and giving us your time on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday afternoon, or evening, should I say, during this crazy, crazy quarantine, coronavirus, COVID-19. Atlanta's not on lockdown, but the rest of the world is evening. Because everybody knows Atlanta is not on lockdown. We are very much in these streets. I'm trying to make sure I'm connected on my personal page, because last time it was not.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
hello, girl. How are you?
We are well. Welcome, 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 Miss China.
Make sure I get this shirt right here, right quick.
Okay, okay.
All
I see the shirt. Bills by
see
China shirt.
You see it?
And it's all razzle dazzled and
razzle
glittered
dazzled.
Oh, you fancy. Okay, I see what's going on now.
Because you know ain't nothing about me simple and plain.
You is super fancy.
I
She done
am.
got a haircut. Okay.
You know I cut my own hair.
Come through with the haircut.
How are y'all doing?
We are
Hi.
wonderful. How are you, Queen?
I'm good. Good.
So we're gonna jump right in and get this thing started and get it popping. Tell us, who is China?
Who is China? So China is my nickname. My name is Nannette Wright. I came with the nickname China back when I was promoting the hosting, and it was ATL China since I was in ATL. And then as the time went along and I needed a meal name, people kept tagging, I got my meal by China. I got my meal by China. And I stuck with it. Because at that moment, how do you change it to Meals by Nannette. Who?
Right.
So it was almost like the public and the people in my work with, they gave me the name. And so I kept it.
That works. That works. And it sticks, it goes with you. It sticks,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It goes with your personality. You know what I mean?
It's got a little razzle dazzle.
It's got a little razzle dazzle. I don't know. You're not giving me Nannette. I don't get Nannette when I look at you. I get China. I can see
Listen,
some
I had
China.
to ask my mama about that one.
We got China sitting in front of the China cabinet. You see, I see what you did there. I see. Girl, you good. You good.
No, what happened was in the process of looking for good signal in my house, I was like, you know what, let me just go back to my little office space. You know, I love food. You know, I love catering. Everything about that type of decor and that setting, that's peace of mind for me. So this is my room where I come. This is where I work and I respond to emails. I do my invoices. This is my little haven.
So you're in your comfortable space, which is good.
Right. And if I need a glass, you know, just grab a glass and a Sprite before Josie start.
Oh, hey.
Tawanda, she real slick.
She is.
So China, Miss China, tell us about your journey to becoming Meals by China. How did that start? How did it, come into fruition?
Okay, so my very first event as being Meals by China, DJ T Nice is how he's known in Atlanta. His name is Terrence Daniels. He called me and said he knew a lady who needed someone to help her with the menu, was just coming up with the menu for her party. He said, and maybe possibly serving. He said, is it something you'd be interested in? Because he knows me personally. So, we talk. He knew at that moment I've been selling little plates and stuff here and there. People pay me for pans of stuff, for cookouts or something like that. And so his thing was, I watch you, I see your posts. Could you just give her a call? I said, yeah, sure. And so I called her and she wound up being a major investment broker, a Melanated investment broker here in Atlanta area. And when I spoke with her after talking, we just kept talking about 30 minutes. And she said, you know what? I have a question. She said, why don't you just do it? Right. And I was like, I had never done an event. I did not have business cards. I was not prepared for this question. I just gave her some ideas on tomato bruschetta, white wine pasta, on some things I felt like she should serve and that I didn't mind serving to her guests. She said, but what I like about you is your poise, your demeanor, how you've spoken to me, how you emailed me back, how you broke down the appetizers versus blah, blah, blah. She said, I want you to do it. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, Miss Lydia, you are aware that I'm actually not a caterer. I don't own a company. I'm not licensed. I'm not insured. You know what she said? Not yet.
Come on now. You better speak it.
Yep. She literally said, not yet. And so she said, this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to come up with the name. I want you to type me out my menu. And I'm going to give you the color scheme. And I'm going to rent you the chafers. This lady sowed a complete seed into my life. Okay. She went out and she rented real chafer sets. She rented servingware. She rented everything you need to hold an actual catering event at no cost to me, and paid me to prepare the food, serve the food. Her guests loved it. It was Zeta Phi Beta sorority. You know how they are. They loved it. They had a great time. They enjoyed the food. And she challenged me. She said, now you have one challenge to do that's not going to be included in your payment. She said, I want you to not only come up with the name, but I need business cards by the time of my event. I'm like, okay, all right. She's not playing. So I reached out to someone who at the time was building brands. His name was Gmail. And I told him what I needed. And he said, yeah, I got you. I can draft you, some cards. Da, da, da. He took regular images I had off Facebook, pow, bam, boom. Next thing you know, I got my first business card. Well, after her, I never let that feeling leave me. That was March of 2015. Not knowing 2 years later, March 2017, my job would get sent to India, my corporate job. I didn't put it together until Facebook did it for me in 2018. I was like, you know what, God? March 2015, you gave me my first event. And she told me I was not a business yet. March 2017, I became Meals by China, LLC. Exact same month. I had the exact same anniversary month of my first event. the date I got my license, and it went from there. It just went from there.
But you know, that's an amazing journey for someone to see your vision and believe in you so much that they invest in you, and to be a total stranger. For
She was
you
a
know,
total
you
stranger.
expect your family and your friends
Yep.
to invest in you before a total stranger to see your gift and
Yep.
invest in you. That's an amazing, amazing feeling. You know what I
It
mean?
was.
To
Y'all got
have
me wanting to
overall.
cry.
Look now, don't you know I don't do no crying. Come on now. You know I'm a
I ain't gonna
thug.
do
We
it.
don't we not finna cry.
It was just great remembering her, because a lot of people don't do that, Josie. Being in this type of industry, a lot of people see it as competition. They don't want to share their business information with you. They don't want to tell you how to do certain things. They don't want to give you good criticism. A lot of times they just want to talk about you or not see you get ahead. I've experienced all of these things, and at each one of them, I didn't look at it as, you know what, I'm going to dwell on this. No, I'm not going to dwell on this. Instead, I felt like, well, you know what they have is theirs. And maybe they just want to keep it theirs. And that's fine. Well, what God has is his, and maybe he wants to keep it his, and I belong to him.
Come on now.
You do your own research and you figure things out. And then God put people in your life like you, Leanne, Dulcie Smith of Dulcie and Lay. It's just been a lot of great people that I know, men and women, who have helped me along the journey, who are not selfish. And so my job is to give that back. So I do the exact same thing, because they could be me. They could be waiting at a table at Applebee's and be nice enough that a millionaire say, I want you to come to my house and set up and serve. Okay, apron off. You never know.
Your cooking skills, I understand you acquired those from your grandmother.
I did. I used to literally sit on the countertop to the point of it annoying her. Like I would just sit. I would hop all the way up on the counter. She mixing flour. I'm peeking. She's stirring pots. I'm sniffing. What is that? What is that? And I'm constantly asking what things were. But she was patient when it came to kitchen. My grandmother had a very stressful life. Like I said, she worked for the wealthy and prominent in my hometown. So she would be tired, but she always cooked a home meal every single day. We got a home meal, even on the weekends. I got cooked breakfast Monday through Friday. Children at the bus stop eating Pop-Tarts. I got a whole homemade biscuit was made for me at like 5 a.m., and all I can remember is that brought her peace, and she never stopped doing it. So I used to just ask her, and it was enjoyable for me, and I would just help her. And then when she passed away, I wound up having a recipe box where I've been writing down everything. But God gives you a great brain for memorization, right? Because I had an apartment.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Nothing. There we go.
Okay, look, I had to shift to the left.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right.
What was the last thing y'all heard? Can you hear me? I'm here.
Okay. The last thing I heard you say was that you're about the biscuit at the bus stop.
In the morning. Okay, so children were at the bus stop eating Pop-Tarts, and I'd be there with a homemade biscuit, eggs, fresh bacon. Like she would get up at like 5 a.m. and cook us home cooked breakfast. And I just remember that being a part of my life that made me feel good. It brought me peace. I went through some phases of bullying and being picked on, and I had some things I went through when I was 12. And so I wasn't always in a good headspace. I wasn't always in a good place. But a nice hot meal, for me to walk in my grandma's house and she got a whole plate of fried chicken, homemade biscuits, mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh yes, it's Monday. I would just completely try and forget about it all. Just forget about it all. And my thing is, I wanted to give that to other people. After that first event, seeing the look on their faces and having them thank me the way they did, it felt good. Like it felt like, you know what? This is it. This is something that I want to continue doing. Now, mind you, I was a catering assistant prior to that, to a chef Lamont. He actually spoke to me today and congratulated me. But I used to assist him with his events. And so even then, I was kind of in the background. And, as an assistant, you pretty much do all the prep and the laying out of things. But you have that urge to want to be like, wow, I used to like, look at him go. Like I used to love to watch him season. I used to love to watch him slice and make fruit displays. And lo and behold, he slowed down on the catering and I picked up on people requesting and I just took off. I just kept going, never stopped. Never stopped.
A question, Tawanda?
I have a well, I do have someone that posted and would like to know would everyone share what their business or businesses are.
Okay.
And then I'll get into my question.
Okay.
Justin, you want me to go first?
Yes.
I am China Wright, the owner and operator of Meals by China LLC. I am a caterer here in the Metro Atlanta area, specializing in meal prep, personal chef, and pan dishes for family as well.
Go ahead, Miss Tawanda with the T.
Okay, well, I am a serial entrepreneur. I own a real estate brokerage here in Atlanta. I also have a travel agency and I do graphic design.
Yes, Melanated in business.
And I am Josie Smith, owner of Josie Cakes. I also am the founder of Young Ladies of Vision, nonprofit organization. I'm the president of Cuties and Convos, which is a book club for teenage girls that encourages reading and knowledge. I'm also the Atlanta ambassador over Powerful Women in Business Global. So that's me.
And now you just spirit fingers?
You gotta give me my snaps, baby. I want my snaps.
I'm here by myself. I'm like,
I'm all incense and beads. I want my snaps.
You deserve them. You have earned those snaps.
Thank you, love.
You've earned those snaps. Yep.
So what's your question, Tawana?
So my question is, which dish was your favorite that your grandmother made?
Oh man, my favorite.
Or that she taught you, that you learned?
Yeah, Thanksgiving dinner, cornbread dressing. I absolutely love my grandma's cornbread dressing recipe. You know, she passed away 17 years ago, and I never pulled that recipe out. I never added it to my menu at all until I got requested to do an event in Dublin. And the lady told me that her husband, that his favorite was cornbread dressing. She said, "Do you make it?" And I'm not gonna lie, and it made me cry. It put me somewhere else because I had not made her actual complete recipe since she had passed away. And now it's on the menu. Yep.
Granny dressing.
Cornbread dressing, yep.
So with your grandma, in being self-employed back then, in such a long time ago, did that influence you to go? I know you kind of fell into your business, but was that more of an easier path for you to take, but versus something else?
Not at all. I didn't have any easy paths. What I had was survival. When I came to Atlanta 16 years ago, I came here from a bad marriage. Just me and my two sons. They were 5 and 3 at the time. Received help from domestic violence location for the first few months. Stayed with someone for about maybe a month and a half. I won money on a scratch off and I got my first apartment. And I've been here ever since. So it wound up being survival. I went from working as a nursing assistant in a nursing home to now I'm over here waiting tables. Next thing you know, I'm at a German restaurant while going to hair school full time because I'm also a licensed hairstylist. And I've never had one job. The entire 16 years I've been here, I have never worked one job. So when I got the corporate job that I was in, I've been there a little over 3 years. And even while I was there, I still had hair clients. I was still doing food. Okay. I wasn't doing anything else on the side. I stopped cleaning houses. So during that time, I was finally acquiring peace. During that last year of that job, I started realizing what was fulfilling me, what it was that was feeding me. And it was cooking. At this point, I've got half of the corporate building doing $10 Friday, getting plates every Friday. They're doing meal preps. They're calling me to cater their housewarmers at their home. I had built a full-fledged clientele from just my corporate job.
And your personality.
Yeah, thank you. And then when that day came, I wasn't sad. I think I was shocked a little bit, but not so much. You feel like something's going to happen, but then it happens and you still kind of in shock. We knew that company always had a high turnover, always. But to be there over 3 years, they considered that to be seniority and longevity with them. So the day it happened and they gave me the spill, the whole, India's techno, blah, blah, not a problem. I'd already recognized I'd been training that team to handle my accounts. So I knew what was happening. I just didn't know it was going to happen that particular day. But when it did, I cried when I got in the truck. And the time it took me to get in my truck and hit Highway 85, man, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend and she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, I'm happy. She was like, but you're crying. I was like, I'm free. Oh my God. And then when you meet her, she will tell you, I literally was on Highway 85 and I was like, oh, I'm free. I'm free. No more 5 o'clock in the morning with into hitting my cell phone. No more. This is how I used to sleep. Because, we're on a time difference. And so emails would come in that I may not want to be bombarded with when I arrive at the office at 8. So I would literally sleep with my cell phone. And at 5:30, I'd roll over, and try and go back to sleep. Everywhere I went, I had this phone. I couldn't even have family dinner. I got this phone. We go out to lunch. I got this phone. That wasn't the life I wanted. I had worked enough. I was tired. I was tired of no bonuses, no raises, no annual reviews. This is a man's world. This is how I'm feeling every day when I walk into that building. Like James Brown was on the back of my head. Like, are women seen here? If we don't come in here without our heels on, are we even seen here? And there's a lot of women that I think feel that way and probably are in that position. And my question to them would be, what are you afraid of? Because everyone is good at something, right? Well, I found my something. And my something went from being part-time to being my complete lifestyle. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
So what makes, I know that you love it. So then I'm sure that spills over into your food. So what makes Meals by China unique from any other catering company that's in Atlanta? What makes me or would make me want to select you? What is so unique about you?
Number one, you're going to know that I'm working not only within your budget, but beyond your budget. You're going to know that I'm putting more into your event than not only what you're expecting. You're going to come in and be like, oh, wow, it's going to look like something that I cared about doing for you. It's going to be beyond that being your special day. This is our special day. We're getting married. It's our birthday. We're graduating. You're going to know. It's a difference when someone just pays you to do something and it looks all nice and glitzy. Anything can look good, but does it feel good when you walk in the room? Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There's a difference. I want it to be warm. I want your guests to remember me. I'm bald, so they're going to remember me. Okay. But I want them to genuinely remember the conversation I had with them when I handed them a plate, the response I gave them when they said, oh, these meatballs are good. And I look back at them and say, and I'm very glad you enjoyed them. I love talking to guests at events when they don't know I hear them making comments. They be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Don't apologize. Please have some more. Like, I want you to understand I'm here with you, and I'm not knocking any other catering company, but I am whom I am. I am a people person by nature. You know that, Josie. But at the end of the day, this is our day. It's our event. This is our experience. And therefore, it's an angelic dining experience.
Hey, we got any questions?
So do you only do catering for events, or do you do like plate, how you have some people who do plates and things like that? Do you only do catering?
If I do plate sales, they're very scheduled, but I do meal preps. So with the meal preps, they're not always for dietary restrictions. I have people who just work hard, married couples who just can't, who are tired of cooking every night. I literally dropped off a 10 meal prep last night to a couple that they needed lasagna, a shrimp Alfredo. They get whatever they want. So they do have the option of getting 5 meals or 10 meals. And then I also offer pan dishes, and those are on the website. mealsbychinallc.com. Shameless plug.
Plug it, girl, plug it.
But I also offer pan dishes in 4 quarts and 8 quart. So if they said they want chicken Alfredo for dinner, they can absolutely order a pan of chicken Alfredo. If they want a family salad, family fruit tray, you want some, I call my eggs angel eggs. If you want baked spaghetti, you want nice salmon, you can get all those things that I offer catering, can also be purchased as a pan dish, the majority.
And they can also be purchased as meal prep, right?
Yep, they can also be purchased as meal prep. Yep.
So your catering, you do all types? You do corporate, everything, correct?
Everything. I do corporate, birthdays, graduation, bar mitzvahs, school events. I've done school Thanksgivings. I'm not opposed to any event.
So with your catering company, is it just you or you have
Yes,
a full staff?
Well, I am the sole owner of Meals by China. Now, I do have people that I pay to assist me with serving and delivery. My son absolutely will be added to the business license this year. I'm proud to announce that. We have my first granddaughter on the way, being born July 4th, and then my oldest son who added to the business license this year. He now does deliveries for me. Working on my youngest son with prepping in the kitchen. He got his first hand at that today. So, it's a family business. My fiance assists me with setup and tear down as well. And then I have someone else who I'll be introducing to social media. Don't want to spoil it. Next week, who's also a new assistant. She's been assisting me with serving, but now she's about to come on board and actually assist with more than just serving. She'll also be helping me with, shopping as well as delivery. So there's going to be a couple new faces added to Meals by China between now and August.
Growth is good. Congratulations on your growth, queen.
Yeah, as long as it's not the hair on my head. Yeah.
You ain't worried about it. I don't think you ever gonna let that grow. That ain't never gonna grow. So with you now expanding, starting with your being by yourself, doing everything, the prep, the sous chef, the delivery person, what has been the hardest part of running a catering business for you?
The hardest part, I would say, would be that first year. Like with any business, you take some losses. That first 12 months was hard. The hardest part was acquiring equipment. For me, that was the biggest challenge. Like I said, cooking is peace of mind. So I don't care if I got to chop peppers for 2 hours or just recently I peeled 10 pounds of potatoes and it was fine. The acquiring equipment when you're doing businesses on your own without grant funding, without loans, without assistance. This company was built on 100% my earnings from my job for about the first, I say, year and a half until I started really seeing real profit. And then once I started seeing profit, it's a thing of, okay, now I got to take this profit and reinvest it back into my business, to make sure that I'm properly equipped to serve everyone, So that would have been the biggest obstacle. I said was acquiring. I was determined not to get a loan. I didn't want a grant. I didn't want a partner, So when you decide to do things on your own, you got to be ready to accept those things that come along with it. So that was probably the hardest part.
And I would agree that if you're funding your business yourself, the amount of income that you have, the amount of profit that you have to generate is so much more greater because you have to make enough to reinvest and make enough to have a profit and make enough to live off of. Whereas if you have a loan, you're just trying to kind of balancing out the two.
Right. And
so
a lot of times
I definitely understand that struggle.
And a lot of times customers don't understand that as well, because a lot of people say, well, can I just get this? Do you sell a plate for $10? There's no profit in me just choosing a random day out the week to go, just set up somewhere under a tent and be like, you know what? I'm about to buy $300 worth of food and see if I make this money back. Because that's the reality. The reality is you have to go and purchase the food items ahead of time before you go and just set up in a public place and decide you're going to sell plates. I never wanted to be a plate seller. So I do it on occasion, like for charity drives or certain things, I'll do it on occasion, but that's just never been my thing. When I walk up and I see certain plate sellers, I see more, I think, than they see. And maybe they're okay doing that. But when I walk up and I taste your food and it's good and you under that little tent, I really want to take you in that tent and go place you in a building somewhere and be like, and I'm gonna be back tomorrow because I'm gonna need more of these plates. That was just never me. You see the shirt. I like the razzle dazzle. I like the lights. I like seeing sterling silver and crystal, and I love it.
Cool. The preparation.
Yeah, the preparation.
To see the picture, to see that pot of spaghetti be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different
bells and whistles and you know what I mean? Your what you created is now shining, is now on display. You can't hear me, then that's you. You got to slide to the left. We can't hear you.
You hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. First, I couldn't hear Josie. Then I was like, "What happened?" Yeah. But that I would list that as another obstacle, because a lot of times people expect something from you that you just can't give, and they don't understand why. But if they don't know business and accounting, I can't expect them to understand why. This is a business not of handouts. This was not, America wasn't built on handouts, right? No major corporate office was built on handouts. So the only thing I've never understood is why it is that people look at, and I'm going to say some melanated businesses, because I do feel like this is something to talk about. They see it differently. You want to ask for discounts. You want to ask if you can pay now and pay something later. You don't go to JJ's and say, I'd like a large pan of wings. I'm going to give you 20 on Tuesday, and I'm going to come back and give you this on the 19th because my baby daddy birthday party is on the 30th.
Right.
I have been hit with some of the oddest questions. Well, I can't really afford that, so you don't lower the price? I had no idea I was a car for sale. We're not negotiating. Like, that's probably been one of the harder things. Now mind you, I have what I consider my VIP clients. Now I do deposits for large orders. I do deposits for caterers. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real live, and I don't even want to say the word, but I'm gonna call it shenanigans. That shenanigans of it all. Like, business takes money to continue to grow. It takes money, and it's not being heartless. It's not being mean. It's called, I want an empire the same way you drive around and you see tall buildings, and we look on TV at the president of the United States, and you look at Maya Angelou, and people look at certain people of power. Yes. Do you think they got that way by simply just giving of themselves all the time and not getting anything in return?
A lot of times people will try to impose their vision on your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had that.
They'll try to push you down a road that you don't even desire your business to go. That's not a part of your vision or your dream or your goals, but they want to take you there because it's convenient for what they want and what they desire and what's comfortable for them. And it's when you don't conform to what they are creating, their ideology, then now you're the problem.
I've definitely had that happen.
You can't dictate my dream. You can't drive my train. You can't regulate my path.
No, you can't put me in a food truck with you, while you travel the world. I've been offered all kinds of things. I've been offered all kinds of partnerships. I've been offered to partner with someone on a food truck, to partner with them as they set up their tents throughout Metro Atlanta to sell food. They were like, you can sell on the left and I'll sell what I sell on the right. I've been asked to partner with venue spaces. I am my partner. I'm building a business and a foundation for my family. And I think that's just always been a thing in my head. As a young girl, not growing up with much, I wanted my family to have something more. I watched my grandmother every single day work for people who they weren't born wealthy. All of them were not born wealthy. They went to law school. Oh, they went to school to be a doctor, or they went and owned an auto parts store. But I watched those people my grandmother worked for, and they were working for their family. If you asked them why they did what they did, they would tell you, oh, well, this is for the grandchildren. Oh, well, this is for the children, or this is for my son. We need to think like that. Everyone melanated in business needs to think like that. They need to bring that whole thought process. It's more than just, I have good benefits of this job. I like my hours. What is that job going to do for your family when you're gone? Besides critical care insurance, accidental death, I want to do something for my family. I want my kids to one day, I may be long gone. I would love to know that Mills by China LLC is still going, that someone is still serving people and giving them peace and joy. I want them to remember me every single day doing exactly what it was I loved, and not coming in the house complaining all the time with months full of migraines, or mommy got to go to the doctor because that job killing her. That's not what I want for my family. I want my family to have something they can stand on that we can call our own. And Mills by China is it.
And you going to get it.
Oh, it's done.
Already. Already. You got to have some more kids. You need some more family.
I can't have no more kids, so we're going to roll with the grandkids. So we have a grandchild on the way.
Whole family added to this pyramid now.
We have a grandchild on the way. So I'm feeling like Madam C.J. Walker. Maybe one day I'll look up and, hey, her name will be on that building. We ain't having no more children. Hashtag Tawanda, 43, spayed and neutered. We ain't having no more kids. That's the new thing for 2020.
Not spayed and neutered. I know that's right.
Both of them. I don't know which one to call it. It's both of them. No, so from this point on, we can't do anything but continue growing, with the babies. And as the babies grow, then the babies will learn, and the babies will tote pans, and the babies will help with ingredients, and the babies will help scrub a dish, and we're gonna keep this thing going for as long as we can carry it.
And the good thing about that is not only are you creating a legacy, but you're teaching them work ethic.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? A lot of people in this day and age don't have work ethic. Mm-hmm. They lack it. And they want to have businesses and they work for someone else. And that's something that they just don't have. And
it's a difference.
Realize that that's something that you need, especially if you're going to be a business owner. Because you have so much freedom and you have the ability to say, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what?
Feeling that work ethic in your children and in your family, I commend you for that. That's the beautiful thing. Keep that going. And they watch you. They see you. Even if you never try to make them do it, they see what you do because you're a hardworking, bald-headed woman.
Girl, that's why I'm bald. That's why I don't want no more hair. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm good. Tawanda, all I have time to do when I cook and clean and sweep and mop and the son take out the trash, I take a shower and I'll be like, oh.
Nice.
And we live to see another day, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm over it. I grew it out throughout pollen season because everybody always like, you growing your hair out? No, it's something I do every year because I'm allergic to pollen. When the pollen touches me, I turn red. So every year, a few months in the spring, I grow it out, right? But by last night, I was like, you know what? I don't smell no pollen out here. Like, I've been hanging tough with this gorilla snot and all these extra things. And I got my interview tomorrow. Let me make sure this is Mills by China. Let me clean up.
We got any questions, Tawanda?
I have a question. When you say your grandmother was an entrepreneur, did she give you any tips or like just throw any information, any tidbits or anything like out there when you were younger?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, China.
You.
Hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you.
Okay. You were asking, did she give me any tips?
Yes. Any tidbits, anything?
You know, she had an issue with pride. So my grandmother's thing was, you can take care of your family any way you see fit. If what you're doing is not illegal, I'm gonna put it in her terms. Don't you get out there and get in no trouble with the law, but you feed your babies when you have them. Don't you get out there and tear up nobody's house, mess up nobody's car, and do nothing you ain't got no business and be nowhere you ain't got no business being. But I don't care if you change a diaper for a living. I'm gonna love you. That was her thing. Mm-hmm. And I watched her do it all. She took care of the sick and shut in to the point where I did it. There was a time at 12 years old, I'm out here taking care of the neighbor's gout. I'm over here soaking her feet and doing the liniment. And I'm like, I'm not doing this when I grow up. As a kid, I kept saying, I'm not going to do this when I get old. I'm just doing this because this is what my grandma do. And I'm not going to do it. And you know what happened? I wound up, the job that I loved the most paid me the least amount of money. And that was being a certified nursing assistant, a CNA. Mm-hmm. A lot of CNAs are truly underrated. Being a CNA gave me great peace of mind. I loved cooking for them. I loved bathing them. I never once had an ounce of pride that made me feel like, and I'm going to say this is a little bit much. Yes, Mr. Presley, I'm going to shave your nose hairs. Whatever that client needed for that day, that's what I did. And so, but I was well in my 30s when I said, oh, wow, this is what my grandma meant. Now I see why her feet would be swollen. But she said, baby, my job is done. Baby, them my people. And then my mind be thinking, you don't get it when you're a kid. So my thing now, when I talk to young people, I don't force any values on them. I don't force any views on them. what I do tell them is, as you go along in life and you have your own experiences, you're going to look back on a lot of things and it's going to come back and it's going to make sense. My grandma did not make a lot of money, but she made enough to take care of us. She made enough to make sure I never went without a thing. No matter where she bought it from, no matter who gave it to, it didn't even matter. I watched her go to work Monday almost through Saturday, and even in the summer, and I'm with her. And she's scrubbing floors and ironing clothes and doing laundry and cooking for bar mitzvahs. And I say bar mitzvahs, Joseph, because I've seen her cook for a few of them, right? Like I would sit and watch her. I've helped her make little bruschettas and everything. That was her thing, was just the whole pride thing. I think what's happened to a lot of people in America, they've gained this, I'm too good to work here. I'm too good to do this. I'm too good to do that. Did God tell you were too good to live? Because I'm trying to figure out, what makes you think you have the right to not take care of you and your children or just yourself in general? So the biggest thing I got from her was about not having pride and not being embarrassed about what you have to do or what you choose to do in life.
That's great. Josie, did you have any more questions?
No, yeah, I do, but we have some questions. I'm trying to pull up. Someone wants to know, what is your signature dish?
Oh, wow.
And how do you come up with your dish ideas?
Okay. My signature dishes, because I don't have one, I feel like for me are my pastas. I came up with them because as a child, I was a cheese lover. As I got older, I was a late bloomer when it came to tomatoes and green peppers and onions and things of that nature. I didn't like them. Once I went to chef school and it started to enhance my already recipes, it became different to me. I realized I love making sauces. I love making sauces. I absolutely love making sauces. So I would say maybe the pasta dishes would be my signature.
So you went to culinary art school?
I did. I went to Le Cordon Bleu. I did not get to finish Le Cordon Bleu. My younger son had some needs that were far more important than what I had going on at the time, trying to work a full-time corporate job and going to school at night and getting in after 10 o'clock. And so I withdrew. And when I tried to go back, it was during a time when Le Cordon Bleu was closing and it was too late.
So having gone to culinary art school, how do you feel like that impacted your craft?
Oh, it impacted my craft a great deal because I was doing a lot of shortcuts and calling myself cooking. It was a lot of stuff that I was doing. Simple things, not maybe so major. But Josie, this, when you learn how to make pasta from scratch, oh, wait a minute now, I can make my own pasta noodles. You start to feel different. What's a bechamel? Oh, okay. When you start to create things that you can only get in a restaurant and you realize you can do it yourself. I've always liked cooking for myself, but it enhanced it. Like it opened my eyes so much more and it made me want to learn so much more. I self-educated myself throughout the remainder of my books. I purchased them all the way through the end of the year. I took myself through those books. It took me exactly a year and about 7 months to do it, but because I was doing it on my own, but I have single-handedly actually went through every single section, sauces, everywhere where I left off with poultry. I've taken myself through the books.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
That for you to do it on your own means that you are serious about what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was. I cried.
Constantly improve on ourselves and our crafts.
Yeah.
You can naturally have a skill, but you can always improve on it. So that's, that just shows how serious you are about what you do and how much you really do truly love it. And the books is expensive. So
the books really expensive. They're really expensive. But it definitely
mad expensive.
Yeah, and even with plating, just you've discussed this about plating. I look back on old pictures of plates that I posted to Wanda, and I look at the new one. I'm like, "You posted that? Why did you post that? Like, why? Where were your real friends at the time? Why didn't tell you, girl? What did you tell me? Like nobody said nothing to me. I posted this at 2 a.m. when I'm doing something, and this. What was this?
Thought he was doing it.
I have a whole album of thought I was doing it from before chef school on my Facebook page. And look, somebody gonna go back and look, but it is on my Facebook page. I refuse to delete it. One of my albums says Meals by China Part 1, Meals by China Part 2. That Part 1 I was putting too much wine in pastas. I was over gravying when I thought I was doing a drizzle. It was a lot going on, but it was so much fun. I'm not ashamed of it. It was so much fun. Right before this interview, I was on a messenger call with my younger sister, and she was doing the same thing. And it's so funny watching her because she was like, "Hold on now, hold on. I'm about to show you." She's showing me. Then she showed me her rice. I'm like, "Oh, girl, your rice just drizzle." And then she started slicing. And then I was like, "No, turn it to the left, turn it to the right." I was doing that because I remember posting, and I know she's gonna post, and she's gonna kill me. But I remember doing that, thinking, "You did that?" And now I look back on it, girl, you done posted a piece of the crispy meat that was stuck to the pan. You supposed to cut that off. Like, nobody tell me this thing. I had no idea that plating was so fun. Like, I got in chef school and it opened my eyes. It made me see color contrast and how you mix your sweet with your sour. And oh, okay, everything doesn't have to be so heavily glazed. And it was a whole different process. And I enjoyed the process.
And it's
Now
calming.
I play with stuff.
Plating is calming.
Yeah.
And it allows you to show your creative side.
Yeah. Yep.
So do you do a lot of plating in at your events, or do you kind of
Only if it's requested. I've only had 2 or 3 events that request the actual plating. The majority are buffet. The majority just want buffet, and they like my displays. They want the salad bar. I just took a call for that today. I was finalizing one. That's going to be like that too. No plating. It's going to be a lot of little appetizers, little what I call little doohickeys, and all the cute stuff that I love to do. All the stuff that seems so tedious. I don't get a lot of requests for plating unless it's personal chef. I've had a couple of personal chef things that I did for families or a mother and son. I've had couples do it, and I do plating with that. Yes, I also do personal chef for a small fee. I will come and cook right in your home.
come on, cook at home?
Nice.
Okay, shameless plug.
So
Uh,
go ahead, Tawanda.
I'll have a question. Oh, there's 2. Well, there's one, but there's another coming. But the first one is, how did you master branding your business, and how did you build your clients?
Wow. Well, building my clients, I'm gonna say social media. Social media was a big part of building my clients, and my corporate job was a major part of building my clients because I met people who were affiliated in other areas and higher levels. Branding my business. I paid Gino Fisher. At the time, this was 2000, I want to say 16, to help me build my brand. And he started it, my first business card design, my first menu for meal prep, giving me the insights to websites. Going forward, about 2018, I acquired the design studio. My very good friend, Leanne Dose, who was featured here from Dose and Lay. She now handles all my graphic designs. She is the creator and designer of all my menus. She's created and designed my business card, my t-shirts, aprons, anything else that I need. I now go through the design studio for everything. My business labels, my logo, that's all the designstudio.com.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
So with the reality that we're in right now, with everyone being scared and living in fear and questioning safety, how has COVID-19 impacted Meals by China? What have you pivoted? Have you shifted? Have you continued on the same track? What is different?
No, it definitely didn't continue. I went through a period of 14 days with no order. And for me, that's a lot. She who wakes up in the middle of the night and sees a DM for mac and cheese. Like, I went through 14 straight days. First, it was slowing down a little bit by little bit. And then it was just nothing. Meanwhile, I'm driving around and I'm seeing all the fast food chains, and they got lines ripping around the building. And it concerned me, not because people weren't patronizing me. It concerned me that people were entrusting more hands around their food versus, one individual. And that's when I got a thought. Someone finally placed the order. I think it was like day 15. When I posted that order, I also captioned it saying, Why spend countless dollars on fast food when you can get home cooked meal? We're going through quarantine. I make every single delivery, sometimes with multiple pairs of gloves on, with face mask on. You can ask any of my clients I drop off food to. I would trust that before I trust the drive-through. And then I offer pan dishes, which is something you and your family can eat off of, for multiple days a week. So yes, COVID hit me really, really hard. It started slow, and then she hit me like, I don't know where she came from, but I want her to go back. And it hit hard, but then it picked up out of nowhere, literally about a few days after I posted that. It's picked up. And when I say up.
So you're higher now than before, or you're
Yes.
about the same?
No, I'm at a level right now where I'm higher than I was before. I hit a goal last week. I've been trying for over a year to do $1,000 in food orders, not counting catering. So nothing to do with catering deposits or catering money, just actual food orders. And literally in 2 days, I did 1,200 in orders.
Hey.
Yeah. So we were celebrating. That was the week I posted no pictures of me because I looked a hot mess because I had never been hit like that before. But it happened and it felt great. I didn't even know it was happening. I happened to just look at my insights on my little accounting thing. I was like, wait, what? How much? Wait. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God. And when I told my kids, they were like, that's good. Well, I was like, a year ago, I set this goal for myself. A year ago, based on advice from a millionaire friend. His advice to me was set your numbers quarterly. People want to always do a daily goal, weekly goal, because they see that as short term. He said, nothing wrong with that. He said, but you're in a business that is a revolving business. So your money is going to flow differently every single week. You could have an event, you could not. I said, true. He said, you need to challenge yourself to do $1,000 a week in sales. And when he first said it, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, because $1,000 in 1 week, you want me to? Okay, I'm in my mind, like, that's a whole lot of meal preps. That's a whole lot of pan dishes.
It's a whole lot of work.
It's a whole lot of work. But I did. And all year long, I've been wanting. So let me change that. There's a difference in claiming and working towards something and putting forth that effort. I was not putting forth that effort. I wanted $1,000 a week in sales. I wasn't putting forth the effort. I wanted it. And I was doing just what Josie said. I'm tired. I'm gonna lay down. I don't have no boss. I'm gonna sleep in the morning. When I left that attitude and I started getting up and setting business hours, properly, and actually working those business hours and putting in the work and responding to emails and doing certain posts at a different hour of the day, only then, and I mean only then, did things start to flow and feel like, okay, you know what? Now you're in business. So when COVID hit, I had to remind myself of that. I was going through those 14 days and I was posting old posts. I said, you know what? I'm still in business. I'm not closed. I am essential. And I kept hashtagging.
Essential.
Yeah, and I kept hashtagging, I am essential. I reposted those menus. I reposted a commercial. I reposted all kinds of stuff. And I kept saying, Meals by China, I am essential. But I had to believe that. Sometimes things you have to believe on your own and work towards that goal. I did that. And God made me essential. Like this is week 2. And it showed like 1996 total in 14 days. I've never done it. I've never done it. But now I know I can do it again.
So you went from 0 sales
to 1,200, 2 days.
To almost, we going to claim it, 2,014 days. Okay? And in the next 14 days, we're going to do 3,500. Like, wait a minute, Josie. You're doing too much. Bring it back.
What? Did you see my face on it? But you know what's so funny about that? I claimed it. I made a phone call today. That's why I said it's about to be some more people brought on board. I went ahead and made that call and initiated because I feel it. I feel it happening. And when it happens, I want to be ready for it. And I mean, I want to be ready. I want the staff in place. I want the assistants in place. I want to be able to keep providing the service that I love to give. So we're going to roll with that, Josie. What was that number?
3,500.
In 1 week?
In the next 14 days.
Okay. Okay. Look, Tawanda, don't laugh at me if you see me on Facebook posting from 6 a.m. to midnight. Because Joseph stayed at 3,500 in 14 days.
And it's gonna come to you.
Okay. I
Just be
believe that.
prepared. I always say one of the things that I grounded myself on when I started my business was I always said run your business at the level that you want your business to be, so
Right.
that you don't have to get ready when the business comes. You're
Correct.
already ready, and I don't mean your product. I mean your back office. You know what I mean? Make
Correct.
sure that now you're in the habit of keeping standard recipes. Make sure
Yep.
that now you're in the habit of doing inventory every
Yep.
night. Make sure you're in the habit of writing down and keeping receipts, because
Yep.
that is what makes the difference in you being prepared. I know
Yep.
when I first started, all I wouldn't write nothing down. So then I would need to make a cake, right? And I'd be like, oh, well, I need vanilla. And I would run off and buy vanilla and come home and would have 3 vanillas.
Yep.
And I learned that I was wasting money. I was
Yep.
costing myself money because I didn't want to take the time and the effort to run my
Check.
business like a business and not like a hustle, not like a
Correct.
grind, but
Because it's a,
actually a
yep.
full-fledged business at the level that I want it to be.
Yeah.
So by
'Cause
you going out and getting your people in advance, you know what I mean, preparing yourself for what's to come is I commend it, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people kind of they let the business come and then they get ready.
yeah, and you can't do
Have
that.
what I call the Popeyes effect. You know, the
Yeah.
Popeyes effect is you want the business, but you're not prepared for the business. And when the business comes, because you're trying to provide service or product, you start losing customers because of poor customer service.
More customer service, because you remember I try to get everything. I know that firsthand. And you're right. Once you start treating your business like a business and not a hustle, it is very different. When I started going and getting the vendor memberships and getting private vendors for food, private vendors for supplies, it hits very different that you don't have to stand in a line at Walmart to grab paper plates. It hits really different. The Sam's Club is not the only place you can go to, or Costco. It hits very different. I had to remember you are a business. You are licensed and insured business. Go out there and get you a plastic vendor. Go out there and get you a couple of food vendors. And I was able, coronavirus messed up the stores really bad. I know y'all know that. Out of nowhere, now everybody wants to cook. They buying up all of everything, right? I had options. And I remember, you know what? I thank you, God, for options. That's all I remember saying was I thank you, God, for options. Because a couple of people who also are in the food industry were asking me that. Well, how are you getting this? How are you getting that? When I told them, oh, but once again, here's the difference in being a licensed business and just having a name. It's a difference. A lot of people will say, well, you don't have to get a business license to do this. Oh, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Oh, yes,
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and you may be doing okay doing what you're doing. But there's 3 people I don't play with: the I, the aura, and the S.
Not the aura.
The aura. The aura is not going to come around the corner with the S and take my business from me that I worked so hard to build. No. Next
Because to
question.
do business with PSG, you need a business license.
You need a business license. And there's a lot of venues that you cannot even go and cater in if you don't have insurance. A couple that got married helped me get that. They were getting married somewhere and it required business insurance. At the time, I didn't have it. And then I thought to myself, why don't you have it? Because I've become complacent in the venues that I've been attending and doing things for. They never asked me for that. That wasn't required. Yeah, this is in the early days. That couple where they were, it was required. Well, you know what I did? One call, that's all. I made one phone call and, oh, okay.
You froze.
Oh,
you good. You back.
look, I said, and I went and I made that call. I went and made the call, got the business insurance, and now I'm able to cater in places when they require it. I got it, and I can attach it to an email and send it over to that venue along with a copy of my updated license, and it makes a difference. When you run your business as a business, then and only then do you become a business. A name does not make you a business.
Indeed, I would have to agree. So where, with that being said, do you see Meals by China in the future? What can we expect from Meals by China going forward from this point?
My major goal is to acquire a venue so that I can continue to bring peace and joy to people who have functions and events, and that I can become a part of them, but stop their worry for looking for a venue over here, a caterer over here, a bartender over here, a pastry person over here. My total goal is to have a venue where I can provide them all of that. Josie Cakes, LLC.
I done told you. There you go. I done told you.
That's the goal. That's the goal. You know, when one person wins, everybody should win. My ultimate goal is to have a venue and be a one-stop shop. Oh, you need a space for your party? You need a bartender for your party? You need pastries for your party? I have everything. You need an event planner for your party? That's my goal, to be the one-stop shop. And I've already started investing in that. I rent chair covers now. I rent black chair covers for events for $2 per chair cover. That's a start. In a couple of months, I'm acquiring the white chair covers. And I'm also doing the sashes for the back of the chairs. Eventually, I want to be the one-stop shop.
Which is good. Mm-hmm. Because that's what you want from your, you know, if you can get it all from one person, from your, especially your caterer.
Yeah.
That eliminates so much stress and so much additional running around, especially finding them chair covers. Because let me tell you something, me and Tawana had to get some chair covers, baby. Lord, I about to been bald looking like you guys. That was the hardest thing in the world to find chair covers. Chair covers are hard. These things on lockdown. You need some blood. What you need?
Yep. And I found someone who was no longer doing events, and she was selling all her covers for less than $1 a cover. I was typing so fast in the middle of the night on this little Facebook group. I don't care what the other people said on your page. Because a lot of people were like, oh, are they still available? Do you have them? Blah, blah, blah. Y'all know how it goes. No. I hit her inbox with, hi, my name is China, Mills by China LLC. What time can you meet me tomorrow? I'd like to purchase 150. Give me all of them. And she messaged me right back. And she said, are you sure you want to meet tomorrow? Because I have other people wanting to meet later through the week. I said, I am not here speaking on behalf of those other people. I can come to you. I can pick them up tomorrow. What's my total?
That part.
And I drove, baby, 45 minutes to her workplace in the middle of the day in Buckhead. Because it took 45 minutes and all that traffic. But I got what I came for. And she was right. Every last one of them were brand new, not one tear, not one rip, nothing. And then I could add that. You got to work. This thing is work.
It is work. It is work.
It's
more work than working for somebody else.
It is. And people don't get that. It will wear you out because mentally you can get drained. Physically, you can get drained. Emotionally, it can be overwhelming. But to wake up the next morning and still want to do it all over again, that's when you know you found your calling in life. Because I wake up every single morning ready to do it all over again.
So where can we find you? What are your handles? Give us your information, your phone number, your auntie phone number. How are we going to find China?
Mills by China can be reached at 678-539-0216. I'm on Instagram as Mills by China LLC, Facebook, Mills by China LLC, and the website is millsbychinallc.com. I can be reached at any of those avenues or emailed at millsbychina@gmail.com.
So you ain't hard to find. Mills by China. Y'all hear that? If you can't remember Mills, she Mills by China on everything.
Not at all.
Nowhere. She didn't put a dot. She didn't put a period.
No dot.
Mills by China.
And I paid for all my domains, so there's only one. So when it pops up, it's me. There's no one else that can have it. I paid for it. I am it.
I have 2 questions from the group.
Okay. We can't
One
hear you,
is,
Tawanda.
Specialize.
You're low. You're low.
I'm low. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you specialize to a certain clientele, business, or group?
Not at all. Not at all. I love everybody, therefore I serve everybody. I don't have any restrictions.
Okay. And the next question is, what form of payments do you take? Cash, credit, Cash App, PayPal, POS?
I take actually all of them and include Zelle. So yes, I have the ability to take POS, credit card, debit card, PayPal, Zelle payments, Cash App, everything.
All the monies.
All the monies. And return fees do apply on any return checks.
You take checks too?
I do. And now on the bottom of the invoice, there's a stipulation for any return checks and how much that fee will be. My lawyer guided me greatly.
Let them know how much the fee is so they won't even try it.
I'm not even going to tell them. But you know what? On the invoice, it does tell you. The invoice tells you what the cancellation fee will be, as well as any return check fee. So I don't get that many checks.
Yeah, I don't think people writing check, old people.
Yeah. And I hate to say that.
Checks. You're gonna get that check from the church. The church is giving you a check, just so you know.
Now you know what's funny? The church does pay in check. Yeah. But you know they have to. For accounting purposes, a lot of churches, yes, they do. I've dealt with churches, Omega Psi Phi, Boy Scouts. Yes, a lot of them still do deal with checks. And for that reason, I still accept check.
Works for me.
Yep.
Got anything else for Tawanda with the T?
Do you have any tips for anybody that is wanting to start a catering company?
Let's see. The tip would be, it's not going to happen overnight. Okay. Do your own research. And honestly, get you some legal counsel for a lot of advice that you're going to need to make sure you're not having any of your rights violated, and make sure your contracts are overlooked. So it's not going to be as easy as what it seems, but I definitely strongly suggest having some type of legal counsel to help you along your journey.
Okay.
Because you can't be out here cooking food for people all willy-nilly.
No, and not knowing what you're doing and where you're doing it at. Next thing you know, you've gotten picked up, or you've gotten your license taken, or someone calls state board on you. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be careful.
Lots of safety and health regulations involved in food prep.
That part. Somebody can get sick. You don't have liability insurance. Now, guess what? Someone is suing you. Now you're losing your house that you built for you and your children and your family. It can all be wiped up. There's definitely a difference between personal and business. And if someone wants to build a business, I think they need to know that, and they need to remember that. You have to separate personal from business in order to be in business.
Well, I have enjoyed you thoroughly, Miss China.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed y'all too.
Your spirit is so welcoming and warm and fuzzy.
I know it's my bald head.
It's a bald head. Let me virtually rub your bald head, girl. Let me rub your bald head.
It's good luck.
Buddha. You look like a black Buddha. Let me go on around that thing, girl.
The person that went to my last nail shop, that's what she used to call me.
The black Buddha.
Yeah, she said, "You like Buddha to me," and I thought she was being funny. And I was like, "Really?" And she said, "No, you come in and you bring peace. You're so peaceful." I said, "Because I know you about to do my feet." I'm just saying, not coming here with no attitude.
Right.
I enjoyed y'all too. And I appreciate you, Joseph, for even doing this. Thank you all so much for even spotlighting me as a melanated woman in business. I was honored. I'm gonna tell you, I was really honored, like I was getting a BET award or something. It feels good to be recognized. It feels great to have achievements noticed. It feels good for someone to see the hard work and understand the hard work, and know that this girl's working. She's working, and her story is still being written.
Well, again, we thank you. We appreciate you taking your time. We appreciate all of our viewers for tuning in. We appreciate your questions.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything. We are so appreciative. Like y'all don't even understand, you know.
Okay.
But we enjoyed having you, and we enjoy everything that came along with you. We wish you the best. We wish you much success and abundance of increase and manifestation.
I knew it was coming. You saw me get ready. I knew you were gonna say it. I was waiting for it.
This is your year of manifestation. I wish you nothing but more and greater, and walking into you who you really are designed to be. So again, I thank you and I appreciate you. And on that note, we're gonna log off and end our evening.
Okay, y'all.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the viewers, the questions and the comments. Thank you.